Excited to have Chase and Katie and little Bentley here today. Our church supports them in their ministry to Navigators up at the University of Washington. And they're going to share with us a bit about that ministry today. So Chase, I think you had a story you wanted to tell us.
Yeah, I just had a quick story that is going to give a good picture to the church on, one, what it's like to live in a fraternity or sorority at the UW, because those are the students that we're ministering to. And then two, it kind of gives a good picture on what it is Katie and I do in our day-to-day. So the story begins when I graduated from Enumclaw High School, and I got into the UW, and I'm signing a fraternity. And I was a pretty good Christian kid in high school, a young life kid. Didn't have much business joining a fraternity, but I kind of surprisingly just really hit it off with this group of guys. And I remember walking through the door and handing what they're called rush chairs. They're like the recruitment chairman. I handed him my bid card. And I said, hey, I want to sign this fraternity. And what he did next kind of surprised me. He yelled at the top of his lungs, and he pretty much summoned every guy that was living in that house. They all just came running down the stairs. And they're like, oh, we're so excited, man. They're giving me hugs. They're shaking my hand. And we all kind of just flow out into the backyard. And we're all circled up. And someone brings out a 30 rack of beer. And my heart, when I see this, I instantly drop because I have never taken a sip of alcohol in my life. This wasn't like who I am. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, what did I get myself into? Well, we're all circled up. They put a beer in my hand. And then the guy next to me takes my beer. And he begins to eat the beer can like an apple. He just chomps into it. And I am thoroughly confused. I have no idea what's going on. And he hands it back to me, and there's a puncture at the bottom. And I'm like, Lord, help me. I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden they count down 3, 2, 1. And they begin to chug the beer from the bottom of the can. And I just was swept up into that, and I partook. And that kind of set the trajectory of me, this Christian kid, totally getting swept up in a different lifestyle, this party lifestyle of a fraternity. And months go by, and I'm tail spinning in my faith. And I kind of huck up a prayer, and I'm like, God, please save me. I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I need your help. I need your intervention. Within weeks of that prayer, a guy comes up to our door and knocks on the door. Regular guy, middle-aged, probably 45 years old, bald head, beard. And he says, I work for the Navigators, and I'd like to start a Bible study in your fraternity. Would anyone be interested? And immediately I'm like, this guy's my answer to prayer. And so I joined his Bible study. And this guy in my years of college, I met him my freshman year, he helped me do two things. He helped me follow Jesus intimately in a tricky spot. And he equipped me to reach my lost friends, to be fishers of men with my lost friends in my fraternity. And he's just a regular bald head, beard guy. I met Kurt this morning, and I'm like, God must use those types of guys. So now Katie and I, we came on staff after I graduated, and we do the same thing. We try to create inroads into these fraternities and sororities, find people of peace, and start Bible studies to reach the lost in their houses.
I think some of you know that the UW is somewhat a hostile environment, so I say hats off to you guys for what you've been doing. And I know when you started, Katie and Chase, you weren't in that many sororities and fraternities, but would you explain what God has done over the last few years? It's pretty amazing.
Well, when Chase first started with bald head, beard guy, they were only in 2 fraternities, and now he's been in it for 7 years, me for 5. We're now in 18 sororities and 11 fraternities. So the Lord is just doing an amazing work at the UW, and 18 sororities is all the sororities that there are. So now we're just trying to multiply. Yeah.
I know that Kurt's going to be praying for you later, but could you tell Kurt kind of about what the future holds for you, and so he can pray for you and what you need prayer for in other ways?
Yeah, two things come to mind. One is we feel like the UW is a pretty strategic place to reach because 70% of students that graduate actually stay in the greater Seattle area, which is unique for a college campus. And that's just because Seattle's where the jobs are. So we have this vision to reach the campus so that we can reach the city of Seattle. And we're still a relatively new presence with probably a decade at UW. But we're starting to see people that are alumni that are graduating. They're working at the Amazons and the Microsofts, and just prayer that God would be able to reach these companies and reach the city through our work in the campus. So prayer for that would be awesome. And then personal request is we just shifted our focus from campus ministry this past year, or last week, and now we're shifting our focus to fundraising this summer to provide for the next year. So just prayer that God would provide for our needs this summer.
Katie and Chase will be in the foyer after the service if you have any questions for them. Katie and Chase, thank you for all the sacrifices that you've made to bless others, to see the captives set free up at the University of Washington. I just am so blessed to know you and to see what God is doing in your lives and how he's working for you. So thank you for joining with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.